Just say it from the beginning. This is what happened. This is how we're responding. We are starting the process of moving forward.
It's only a matter of time before Paul Finebaum's probably not on any ESPN programming.
I refuse to believe this has anything to do with right or left politics. Why not just announce you're running for Senate if you're Paul Finebaum? I would have preferred just some honesty and said, yeah, he's off air. And what was done in the past is not what's going to be done now or in the future. Here's how we're moving forward.
Paul Finebaum would tell you why he wasn't on the show. Chad, did you appear today on First Take or Get Up?
Hutton, I went for my 27,000th straight day not appearing on Get Up or First Take. Unfortunately for ESPN, I wish, the ESPN viewer wishes they had someone with my expertise on one of those shows. But once again, I am sad to report that I did not appear on any ESPN shows.
Yes, well, Finebaum did.
Yeah.
Finebaum did. A day after he didn't. And a day after, Clay told us all why. And, it's only a matter of time before Paul Finebaum's probably not on any ESPN programming. Wouldn't you say?
That is correct. That is correct. Shall we start with Clay's explanation from his multi-million-dollar beach home that he opened this week?
Sure. So, first it starts with the two tweets. Just looking at the two tweets from yesterday, or the posts on X. Let's get it right.
Get the language right.
Per sources, we know it hit this yesterday. ESPN, Disney removed Finebaum from a period on ESPN since his OutKick interview, expressing interest in running as a Republican for Senate in Alabama. ESPN canceled all network appearances on all shows, including some that have occurred for a decade plus. Then he goes on to say that Finebaum is not an announced candidate. Is not an announced candidate for Alabama Senate yet. Stephen A. Smith had discussed running for president as a Democrat, and the network has taken no action in this matter. OutKick has requested comment from ESPN Disney, and a story will be forthcoming on the site. Well, OutKick didn't get an official response at the time from ESPN or Disney, but there was a response from Bill Hoffheimer, who's ESPN PR. This is not true at all. The below is in all caps, totally false. And Clay gives the LOL from his beach
I
on
love
the Gulf of America.
any X post from a 44-year-old man that starts with an LOL is always one of my favorites.
Yeah, I can totally see Clay laughing here too as he types this. You can too.
I think I gave Clay a couple of years there when I gave his age too. You're welcome, Clay.
Yeah,
you're welcome. We'll go with 44.
Sure.
We'll go with 44. That sounds good.
This decision is above your pay grade, Bill. Why wasn't 5 on Sunday AM Sports Center or First Take this morning? Talking about Monday morning for the first time in over a decade. Reacting to one of the biggest college football weekends of the year.
By the way,
stand by my sources.
It was now when I read this tweet or X post, apologies to X, that I realized that he was on every Monday and Tuesday on those shows.
Thank you.
I'm like, his normally scheduled appeence, and I had no idea he ever did.
You know who would know? Paul Finebaum, right?
Right. Yeah, he knew.
Yeah. So
it's in his iCalendar every time, so he knows when to answer the call.
Yes. So there's Clay's reaction to it. Well, then yesterday there's a caller on the Paul Finebaum show, and if you don't believe us, just listen to the caller, and you'll be able to tell it was a caller on the Paul Finebaum show who wanted to ask, "Hey, Paul, about ESPN not allowing him on those shows."
The only other thing I wanted to say, Paul, was I saw a blurb that you'd been pulled off of some of the
A blurb.
Okay, let's continue here and talk to,
Can you hear
Don in Missouri. Hey, Don, go right ahead.
All right, guys. Hey, Paul. Can we play?
Hey, Paul, tell me about the Tigers' chances against the Tide this week.
Can we play this again? Can you? I think you can. Can you hear the producer in his ear vaguely say, "Paul, move on"?
No, but let's listen.
All right, because there's a little bit of a dead. All right, so listen for it again after they cut the caller off.
The only other thing I wanted to say, Paul, was I saw a blurb that you'd been pulled off of some of the
Right there.
Okay, let's continue.
I heard it.
Here
I got it.
talk
Good ear, Hut.
to Don in Missouri. Hey, Don, go right ahead.
And, of course, Paul does. Now, had that been false,
Paul,
right
tell me about my Tigers and the chance against the Tide this weekend. No, I just wanted to go ahead and fill in the viewer for the rest of that call.
Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to do it one more time because there's a third part of this. If this report from Clay were false, Paul Finebaum would tell you why he wasn't on the show.
Correct.
Listen to Paul's response.
The only other thing I wanted to say, Paul, was I saw a blurb that you'd been pulled off of some of the
Paul, move on, Paul.
Okay, let's continue here and talk to Don in Missouri. Hey, Don, go right ahead.
Donnie.
Hey, Paul.
So right there, that's the guy that would tell you, I wasn't feeling well, or here's why I wasn't on the show, or whatever. No, doesn't do it. But no, we don't start there.
No.
We don't stop there.
Not
because
at all.
Here's the ESPN blunder in 5 parts, where Clay's going to let us play out the storyline of what exactly ESPN ends up doing. Finebaum does interview with me, infuriating bosses.
That is absolutely 100% correct. Yes.
They pull him off his scheduled hits. Correct. I tweet they did this. Correct. Moron PR exec says it isn't true. Correct.
Also correct.
Number 5, moron PR exec gets moron reporter, quote unquote, to say Finebaum is back Tuesday after immense blowback. Correct. And, well, here's where we have part 6. Bobby Burack, they changed their story and say they were testing.
That's really funny.
Testing new people.
Who were the test case studies?
I've done it.
Who filled in for
Chad,
him?
just like
just like I don't know that he had a
Correct.
weekly hit. I don't know who they were testing out.
Yeah, who was it? Monica McNutt? Was
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Monica McNutt now talking Alabama football. Why not?
Well, sure.
We have so much
Maybe it
talent.
was Donnie who called in.
Talent is stocked deep here at ESPN. They could have gone a number of different directions.
Paul, move on, Paul. Paul, move on, Paul. Chad, you mentioned, should we start with Clay and his home in Florida, one of his homes. Here he is Monday from his Florida residence, the Gulf of America.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Clay Travis here on the Gulf of America, updating you on today's goings-on before I head back to the pool. Red flag day, not ideal at the beach. This morning, as I'm getting ready to start my vacation day, I get tipped off that ESPN has pulled Paul Finebaum off all programming since my interview aired with him on Tuesday. They canceled a regular hit on First Take this morning. They canceled a Sunday early morning hit, which he's been doing for a decade plus on SportsCenter. I tweeted that out. Figured I was going to go about my day. This moron named Bill Hoffmeyer, I guess he's just the professional bitch of ESPN. He came out and said this was a totally false comment. He's a liar. He's also a sad moron. And since then, ESPN has now got their stooges in sports media to come out and say, oh, no, nothing's happened. Paul Finebaum is scheduled to be on First Take Tuesday. But in fact, that's not true. Paul Finebaum hasn't even been invited on First Take yet. Again, I'm on vacation. Just try to get your story straight, ESPN. Bob Iger, you're such a moron. Just figure out what the actual story is. Humbly, I'm headed back to the Gulf of America. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I'll be back on the air Thursday, maybe a couple of shows between now and then, but mostly vacation time here on the lovely white sand beaches of the Gulf of America. Yeah. See y'all. Love you, ESPN.
Yeah, nice hair,
I love
Clay.
the mirrored lenses on Clay's sunglasses where you can see the beautiful pool in front of him that he's about to jump back into on a red flag day on the Gulf of America. Hutton, may I offer a 6th part of this 5-part story?
Yeah, or 7th, because Bobby offered the 6th.
So Bobby
Here's
offered
7.
the 6th. So part 7 is this. The part that we're not discussing enough of is the chicken shit executives for ESPN that don't just come out and say, we suspended his ass for a week from ESPN programming.
Or anything.
And by the way, they would have every right to do so. Paul Finebaum did an interview with a rival network that spends a lot of time bad-mouthing ESPN.
Right.
And in that interview, he criticized his bosses for not allowing him to do an interview with Donald Trump. Clay tried very valiantly to get him to explain why they didn't go to the national anthem during the college football playoff game after the horrendous events in New Orleans.
Yep.
And Paul Finebaum in the interview even said, Clay, you do realize I'm still employed by this company, right? He did these things on a rival network.
He was nervous about it.
I don't want anybody to get confused here. acting like Stephen A. Smith and Paul Finebaum are the equivalent at ESPN is acting like me and Clay Travis are the equivalent at OutKick. It's not the truth. I'm about where Paul Finebaum is, and Clay is Stephen A. Smith for the company. So they're going to be treated differently.
Look how they treated ESPN Radio. Correct.
I refuse to believe this has anything to do with right or left politics. Yes, these executives are probably left-leaning, like much of ESPN. They've made horrifically bad decisions in the past based on partisan politics. This is a situation, though, I really feel like, Hutton, where Paul Finebaum did an interview somewhere that ESPN didn't want him doing an interview, and in that interview, he talked about how he was disenchanted with decisions made in the past by ESPN and teases a possible run for Senate. I'll also ask the question, why not just announce you're running for Senate if you're Paul Finebaum? There's got to be a reason for that, right? Is the reason to stay on ESPN because you're under contract?
Let's dumb it down.
Knowing that when you announce you're running for Senate, you're going to be out of a job because you're going to have to go and do that, and ESPN's not going to allow someone running for political office to be full-time at ESPN. So in doing that, and by the way, brilliant by Paul Finebaum in this, you can still use the platform given to you by ESPN as a very visible candidate for U.S. Senate in doing that. Now, would ESPN or any network want to have a part in that? I don't think so in the long run. So this is part of the phasing out process, I think, for Paul Finebaum. My chief objection with ESPN is twofold. One, this Bill Hoffheimer character speaking out of turn.
Absolutely not true at
and
all.
saying that, which the report was absolutely true. And two, don't act like, oh, no, we were just trying out new talent, and now he's going to be back on the mark. You were shamed into that decision.
The tryouts must have sucked.
You were shamed in that decision
Tryout
by Clay.
kickers for the NFL, and sometimes you don't sign them.
Monica McNutt must have not known about the Texas secondary. Apologies. But you were shamed in the decision by Clay Travis and OutKick, by Front Office Sports, by On3 and Pete Nakos, and everyone else who reported on this.
Yep.
And your recourse was, no, we're going to act like nothing happened and we were just trying people out because he might leave. They got their story straight, and they tried to save face a little bit. When, again, I would have preferred just some honesty and said, yeah, he's off air. And anyone else would be off air if they did the same thing.
And then there's part 8. Part 8, where
we're going to get to 10 parts by the time
the caller calls into his own show, and he's cut off by a producer who is clearly told by his higher-ups, if anyone calls, you cut them off. You censor them. You're going to cancel yourselves. You're going to censor your own callers. And then that guy has to tell Paul Finebaum, Paul, move on, Paul.
Move on, Paul, move on.
And Paul moves on instead of talking about it. So it doesn't even have to do, would be the run for Senate. He's told to do this by ESPN, so he's doing it. He was told not to do he was not going to run the Donald Trump interview. So guess what happened? They didn't do it. You think Clay's going to be told not to do anything on OutKick the coverage or OutKick the show on Thursday? Hell no. If he was to talk about anything, he's going to talk about it. No matter what anybody texts him or tells him.
Talked about it in his $10 million beach house.
Right.
Told us all about it.
Humbly, he will talk about it.
Humbly, he's getting back into his pool.
Point being, therein lies the difference right there between Clay and OutKick and ESPN
and Clay and
Paul Finebaum.
You know, Paul's standing with ESPN different than Clay's standing.
Well, no doubt. And you know what? Just we don't need to hear it from Finebaum because ESPN's telling us without even admitting it. You can hear it in the producer's voice that no one picked up on until now. Paul, move on, Paul. Can we listen to that one more time? This validates everything. When they cut off the collar, Finebaum laughs because it's bullshit that they cut him off. And he moves on because, well, he's tired of the bullshit.
The only other thing I wanted to say, Paul, was I saw a blurb that you'd been pulled off of some of the
ESPN.
Okay, let's continue here and talk to
there's the confirmation
Don
right there.
In Missouri.
Has nothing to do with running for Senate. It was
there's someone in the ear, the producer. Cut it, kill it now, kill it. No, can't respond to it.
Producer was told you're going to get your ass fired if we hear anything about this. Paul, move on, Paul.
By the way, Paul did do his SEC Network Saturday morning show from Gainesville this past week. So he's still in good standing on SEC Network. Disney-owned company. He was just on double secret probation on ESPN that they were hoping no one would know about.
Now, real quick.
I wish they just would have come out with a press release saying, yeah, he's off here for a month on ESPN, but he's still going to do his SEC network work.
What was Stephen A's response to Paul whenever Finebaum was on? Because he was on First Take.
He was.
That means Stephen A has totally no problem with Finebaum whatsoever.
No.
Because if Stephen A didn't want him on his show, Finebaum would not be on that show. Period.
Yeah, I don't think Stephen A's the type that's like emotional about someone's politics the way some at ESPN are. You know, that wouldn't work with Sage Steele or Sam Ponder because their politics were mean to them at times. I don't think Stephen A. Smith really cares. Paul Finebaum went back on Get Up and went on First Take this morning, and Stephen A. welcomed us in. Hey, by the way, missed you yesterday. Good to have you back.
Yeah, that's the little jab.
Yeah.
That's the little jab at it right there.
Which you can get away with if you're Stephen A. Smith.
Sure. But ESPN is not getting away with the fact that they just what a blunder. What did ESPN's bitch? Is that the title?
Yeah, I just want instead of like double secret moron. Probation. We hope no one covers this. We don't want to have to talk about it. I want someone to have the balls at ESPN or anywhere to just step up and say, "Yeah, I'll take the call from OutKick or Clay or Bobby Burack, and I'll explain exactly why he's not on air for the next 2 weeks." And it has nothing to do with partisan politics. And what was done in the past is not what's going to be done now or in the future. So you can write about all that all you want. But here's how we're moving forward. And if you go and disparage your bosses on another show, then this is going to happen. Also, we're pretty sure he's going to run for Senate. So we got to figure out what we're going to do without Paul Finebaum. Boom. I just wrote your damn press release for you. And we're starting the process of doing that. Instead, you were shamed into first off calling Clay a liar, which is completely false. And then you had to go back and backtrack and, oh no, he hasn't been, he's going to be back tomorrow. Just say it from the beginning. This is what happened. This is how we're responding. We are starting the process of moving forward because we firmly believe this gig for him is temporary and he's going into politics and this is how we're proceeding. Boom. Do that next time. It's not that hard. Accountability is not that hard. Stand by your decision. Don't hide behind others. Stand by the decision you made, whether it's right or wrong. Stand behind it and explain it. It's that simple.
Oh, man. Bobby also, ESPN punishes Paul Finebaum. Yep. Here's an updated list of all the things Mark Jones has tweeted.
Yeah, that's really good. That's like
maybe they're trying him out.
That's not a story in 5 parts. That's a story in 75 parts. The Mark Jones tweets.
Oh man, coming up, Timmy B.
Tim Brando, baby.
Timmy B. That is Tim Brando, and we look forward to having him on the show. Think he's pissed off for greatness?
I think he wakes up pissing greatness. And also pissed off for greatness.
And hitting piss missiles off the tee.
Yes. And just, 300 right down the fairway.
That's next here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Sixth and Peabody, our location. Yeehaw Beer, Old Smoky Moonshine, Hot Mic, Heading with throw here at OutKick.com.
Every time I see that break video of us with Diego Pavia at SEC Media Days, I'm more and more impressed by the guy that he's able to accomplish the things he can at 5'6" or 5'7".
He looks smaller there than he does next to football players.
I look more like a giant, and he looks smaller and smaller.
You look like Cam Newton.
Knowing that he was standing on a riser the whole time, too. And it does not – this makes me respect Diego Pavia more for what he's able to accomplish on a football field.
When we say riser, here's what we mean. There are like –
the cover of the electrical
so you don't
cord.
Trip over cords going up to a step. He is standing on top of that. So let's say – it's like standing on one of those, like a shoe insert, like a sole.
It gave him an inch,
it's
maybe.
like, hey, don't you want to be 6'1" instead of 5'7"?
Yeah. It wasn't like he stepped up and we had to step down the stairs. So
what they don't tell you is you're basically putting it on high heels.
Yeah.
You're going to be walking on the balls of your feet. He's not doing that.
It gave him an inch.
And it still looks like this.
It gave him an inch, but yeah, it's remarkable. Good job, Diego Pavia.
Yeah, Pavia.
This is not me making fun of his height. This is me impressed with his physical feats on the SEC football field, given his height.
Halftime of that game, it's 14-all, and I'm thinking, wow, this dude has shown up, and he's shown out. And then you have the fumble where, the shin's I don't know, what would you say, half an inch off the turf whenever the ball's coming, just moving. I'm ever so slightly. That's the difference in the game right there. If they score going into that, on that possession, that Bryant-Denny Stadium is a church full of heathens at that point.
It was a church full of heathens when the game ended. Did you see the old men yelling at Pavia and Vandy coming off the field?
No, I'm talking about yelling at their own team.
Oh, I know. The Ty Simpson, by the way, this is a preview for primary complaint tomorrow.
Yeah, yep.
I get the whole, we're going to let the play out in case we want to go back and look at it on a possible fumble.
Yes.
But, you've got to understand, the dude's elbow hit not once but twice.
Yes.
And then his knee's going down, and they let the play go, and Vandy runs it back for a touchdown. And they go to the replay, and they're actually having to sit there and debate, maybe it was. No, it was clearly down.
Clearly down.
He's stumbling, he falls again on the same forearm elbow, and the ball comes out the second time as someone's landing on him. No, we're going to let it go. It's okay to go ahead and say he was down.
Yep.
There's a guy right there. You saw it. He's down.
It's also okay to go ahead and say that Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins,
is going through it.
He's a goner. He's going to be fired. Following the Dolphins' loss to the Panthers, Mike McDaniel went to the podium and delivered this reaction, this account of what it was like to talk with team owner Stephen Ross right after the game.
He was really frustrated at the, just like he was as I was, and we talked about the challenge ahead to get ready for the Chargers, and that was kind of the extent of it.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like a pothead that just got home from a Friday party at high school to me.
Yeah.
At the podium.
Trying to explain things to his parents?
Pretty much what it comes across as, yeah.
The parents where were you? And that's the response. Well, I was, he,
is that
yeah.
What is that logo he's wearing on his, I'm sure that's a Dolphins hoodie. It looks like you remember the band A Perfect Circle?
Yeah.
It looks like their logo from their.
That could be his next job. Roadie
it's
for
a Dolphin,
Perfect Circle.
But it looks like, it's the logo of the podium. It's just black and on black.
Yeah.
Right?
This is
it looks like the Perfect Circle, a Perfect Circle logo to me.
This is his funeral attire.
Glasses.
He's going to his own
Grandma
professional.
Glasses?
This is him attending his own professional funeral.
Yeah, I'd like to have Granny Sally's glasses on, please.
He's not wearing the aqua or the bright orange colors now for the Dolphins. It's all black hoodies where you can't even see the dolphin.
And
it was a rough look.
Yeah, I mean there were fans who were genuinely concerned, he was stroking out.
Well, we've seen this a couple times before where people don't handle things going south in a hurry well. There's an example yesterday, too, of James Franklin, who opened his press conference for the week and did not have – he almost sounded like Deshaun Foster at Big Ten Media Days.
We're located.
He did not have
Here's where we're located.
Well, he didn't have a scouting report for Northwestern. And the first question was some guy who's like, James, you've opened for 12 years every Monday press conference with some info or a scouting report on your opponent. What's going on? And James Franklin's like, it's a fair question. You're right. And given the circumstances Saturday, we haven't really gotten to Northwestern yet.
They're worried about themselves.
Basically, we're still trying to pick up the pieces, and I don't really have anything for you on Northwestern.
Ourselves.
Yeah.
Also,
not a great sign,
also
though.
Northwestern screwed.
Not a great sign of picking yourself up and moving forward.
What would you? I'm not. This is. We're not going to play. What's the spread? But should we take Northwestern money line?
I'm looking it up right now.
Or is it a sucker bet?
I don't know. I'm still upset about not taking Florida last week. That was a problem for me. Penn State can't be ranked still, right?
No, they're not. They fell out. So did Clemson, of course.
Thank God.
Clemson, Penn State, peace. Another coach, likely on his way out, Jonathan Gannon with the Arizona Cardinals. He
Penn State is a 21.5-point favorite at home.
And the spread roughly at UCLA was what, 28?
24.
24.
24.5.
Think about that.
On the road.
I don't know.
It is I'll say this. It is a.
Is this game?
I don't think this is going to happen, but if I'm Josh Heupel, that is a cautionary tale, what happened at UCLA and Penn State with an interim coach situation. Like, you have to prepare your team like it's going to be totally different. They're going to go for it on fourth down every time.
No travel to West Coast.
They're going to onside kick. They're going to fake punt.
You don't have to travel.
They're going to do that. But the good news is you're at home. Yeah, you're not going on the road.
You have to travel to California, Chad.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a flight to California.
Lord knows a 20-year-old can't survive a cross-country flight.
Can't do it.
Too much to overcome.
Can't travel. The Titans traveled to Arizona, though, and won over the Arizona Cardinals. Crazy game.
Did they win or did Arizona lose?
Arizona lost.
Yeah, thank you.
Arizona lost. That's fair. And Amari DiMercato, he's about to have okay. If you have open field, you're DiMercato. You're a third-string running back at best for the Arizona Cardinals. You're in the game because the first two running backs are hurt. You could be the primary back now. They signed Michael Carter off of out of free agency that week. He ends up scoring a touchdown. DiMercato, we thought, was going to put the game away. Instead, he fumbles as he's going into the end zone. You've seen it. It's an idiot test. And he didn't pass. So here's Jonathan Gannon on the sideline after that play. And you see he's pissed off for greatness. He's telling him he can't do that. Slaps him. And, get the offensive lineman consoling him. I'd be pissed off if I'm the offensive lineman because I just blocked a perfect block for you to go and take it off for 70-plus yards. And, you just threw the ball through the end zone. Well, here's Jonathan Gannon apologizing for coaching the next day.
I didn't see the video, David, but I actually I woke up this morning and didn't feel great about it, honestly. And so in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Omari, apologized to the team, and I just told him I kind of let the moment of what happened get the better of me there. Obviously, I try to be emotionally stable and calm because my job is to solve problems
and it's on the line.
During a game and kind of lead the charge on that. So it's not really who I am, who I want to be, and I told the guys that today.
So what I just heard was a coach apologize for coaching with a player who is something out of Jonathan Gannon's control here. 2 plays in that game. Really 3. Let me go to 3. First, there's a snap that goes off Kyler Murray's face mask that Tennessee recovers. Yeah. All right. Then there's the play from DiMercato where he's waltzing into the end zone and he just drops the football going in like an idiot. And then we have the interception that turns into a fumble, and Cam Ward throws an interception but counts as a touchdown. It's a fumble recovery into the end zone. Chad, job's on the line, and he's apologizing to the player that just screwed up so bad that the player should have been cut right after that play. Like, he's not good enough to be a starter on the team, and you're apologizing in front of the team and to the player because you screwed up? Did DiMercato stand in front of the team and say, hey, Coach, I lost this game, not you? And was it that big of a deal?
Well, that should have been the response. DiMercato, if he apologized in a team meeting, I would have raised my hand and said, I'll stand up and say, too, I apologize to each and every one of you for being an idiot on that one. I could read his lips coming off the field, and DiMercato said, an offensive lineman, someone passed him, was kind of like trying to pat him on the shoulder, and he said, so dumb. That was so dumb. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right.
To the player, like, he knew right away. Also,
I'm sure he's not happy about it.
He took his ass chewing appropriately. He stood there and he took it and sort of nodded from the coach. There's nothing to apologize here. Here's what I don't like about the video and what happened. If you notice, and there's a longer extended version of the video, there is a staffer who comes behind Gannon and is like pulling him away, like grabbing his belt and sort of walking him away after he chews ass with Demercado. I would fire that dude if I were Gannon. I don't know who he is, if he's an elevated ball boy or an analyst or whatever, but I would tell him to get the F away from me and don't make this look like more than it is. Because if you notice, the best ass chewers, does anybody come up to Nick Saban when he was chewing ass at Alabama and like standing between him and the player when he's going off on, or the coach? No. You know what they do at Alabama? They look forward with their play sheet, or they continue coaching and act like nothing's going on. Hey, they're just talking. Nothing to see here. They're just talking. Every good coaching staff allows the head coach or a top assistant to go off on a player, and their job in that moment is to look forward like nothing's happening behind them, business as usual, and not interfere with a coach coaching. I've got a real issue with whoever that is that's like walking him away in the moment, because I think it just makes Gannon look worse, because it looks like the guy's legitimately afraid about what he's going to do to the player. And also, it just reeks of softness across the NFL and across sports. Like the offensive lineman who's like cradling him with his arm around him like a child when he comes up to yell at him too. I don't like that either. Like, let him go sit by himself. Let him contemplate the dumb mistake that he made. If someone wants to say, look, man, it was an awful play, it was a dumb mistake, but try to lift him up because they see how down he is, I'm good with all of that. But so much of this is just incredibly soft.
Brian Kelly, not apologizing, excuse me, upset over the first question being about the run game. Just can't do anything anymore. All these football coaches, all these players.
How dare you?
No.
Did you see the last run play? The one run play we ran successfully all game? How about you ask me about that one? Ask me about the one run play that was successful.
Did you see the last play of the game?
How dare you ask me about the 35 that didn't work?
It makes me respect those who actually, can think for themselves and don't take everything so serious the next day.
I'm fine with people taking their job seriously.
No.
Just be accountable for it and be able to answer the question.
Taking your job seriously is one thing. I'm talking about taking it seriously like you did this. Like you thought that was a serious thing that you needed to address.
Oh, talking about Brian Kelly or Gannon.
Yeah. It's you're coaching. And the dude's got pads on. What are we talking about here? You slapped him on the shoulder or the breastplate or whatever. Don't be a pussy, right?
D-Bap.
I appreciate the players and coaches who aren't. That's it.
It also screams to me that he's got a very Charmin soft roster, and he's afraid he's going to lose his players because they didn't like it and they don't like being showed up. So you got to come back and say that so you don't have some sort of mutiny in the locker room.
It makes me wonder. Are there 28 Charmin soft rosters then in the league?
For sure. I'll tell you one that's not going to be the New England Patriots.
No.
Under Mike Vrabel.
Not going to be.
Ask any Titans fan.
Well, at least for 3 years.
One of the biggest mistakes in recent. I'm watching the Patriots win in Buffalo, and I'm thinking, oh, dear Lord, this team's going to be a problem. And Mike Vrabel's going to be, and he's probably going to win NFL Coach of the Year at some point, again for a second time, with 2 different franchises.
Right now, you have, let's see, in the NFL today, you have Baker Mayfield. You think he's soft? No.
Him going off on the fan.
Oh.
I sent you that video where the guy's chirping him in the tunnel, and he just turns and starts MFing this dude up and down, talking about you're going to be singing a different tune at halftime. When I come back here at halftime, I'm going to come find you.
Being on the NFL sideline, right behind the bench, right? So whenever the players are sitting there and you've got the first, second, and third row, players all the time would turn around and talk all kinds of mad junk to the fans. Not when the cameras are right on them, though, because they're not right behind the bench. NFL Films is there, and that's pretty much it. They never show the back and forth right behind the bench. But in the tunnel and stuff, fair game to roll on that.
Baker Mayfield's a dog.
Sam Darnold's playing like it.
Yeah, he is.
Daniel Jones is playing like it. You have Mac Jones playing like it. And we know the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And then there's Jacksonville winning over Kansas City last night.
Liam Coen looks like a damn alpha genius right now. Going after Robert Saleh, trying to fight dudes that would clearly beat him up.
And you know, I look at some of these coaches, Chad, and I think, man, some of them, you know, you mentioned Vrabel, and then the dichotomy of like Liam Coen or Mike McDaniel getting in front of a room, commanding, you know, like Brian Callahan. I don't see how those, Jonathan Gannon. Oh, I'm sorry. Mike Vrabel would have cut that dude.
Yeah.
You're just not, be thankful there's no team flight home because you wouldn't be on it. You know?
Greg Olson argued he should be cut.
I mean, he should be. I mean, this is not, you know, this is, Leon Lett was how many years ago?
1993.
And he's not a ball carrier. This guy's got he's watching himself on the Jumbotron or doing something. You could see yourself going into the end zone. This is your moment. You're putting the game away. And then you get down on your knee and you're like, you know, saying a prayer like you scored. Didn't even realize it. I don't know how you just dropped the football.
Hutton, the plot to Chad Powers is that Glenn Powell's character did that in the national championship game and lost the game. He fumbled the ball going into the end zone.
There's no way that's good.
That's how stupid this is, though, that like the plot to a comedy series about a guy who's in his 30s that puts on makeup and changes his identity to be a college quarterback again and have another chance. He's always remembered as the guy who dropped the ball 2 yards short of the end zone on his way in to lose a national title. That's where we are.
Is Glenn
today's
Powers
NFL.
Soft?
Huh?
In that show, is he soft?
Chad Powers?
Oh, Chad
I haven't
Powers.
watched I haven't watched the show yet. I've only seen the trailer.
What? Okay.
I'll have to get back to you.
One final thought. You bring this up. Why have the same last name as Kenny Powers in a show like this?
I think it was an homage to Kenny Powers when Eli Manning did it.
Okay.
So remember, Eli Manning, this is part of the bit on Eli's places with Penn State. He loves Eastbound and Down. He's referenced it on the Manning cast, so I think that's what he was doing.
But this isn't anywhere close to that type of show, right? Or, again, I haven't seen it. I'm assuming this isn't vulgar.
No, it's not. It's on Hulu, but I don't think it's that vulgar at all.
You know,
it's more family-friendly.
This is no...
you don't want to confuse
what is it,
people with Powers.
American Express Black, or what is it?
Yeah. It's not. They're not going to have a scene like that. No. I don't think they're going to have a scene about body parts in the Jonas Brothers at any time on Disney-owned Hulu's version of Chad Powers. Danny McBride is not the showrunner of this one.
Oh, look at this guy, though. I mean, I
have a hard time seeing how it's going to be funny.
I do too.
When I see when I see the picture of him, like Hutton, you know, Glenn Powell's our guy. We've interviewed him.
Agree.
I love Glenn Powell. I think he's a movie star. He's got 1,000-watt charisma. Really good. He was on the Mannycast last night. He was very good. He knows football.
I have no doubt.
Played high school football. But then I see the trailer and I'm like, I haven't fired up the first episode yet because I'm thinking I don't want to watch Glenn Powell in this.
I don't want to ruin my vision of
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Guys, get the video ready of Clay on the Gulf of America. We're going to end the show with this to play us out. Because, Chad, I'm thinking of Clay. When he says, humbly. This, knowing Clay the way we know him, he's standing there. He's got the Gulf of America.
He's got his reflective lenses on, sunglass lens on, where he can see everything in front of him.
He thought this is his
mirrored shades.
This is the way DeMarcado should have treated the touchdown run, all right? You know you're going to score. And you know you've got the points on the board. This is running through the end zone, then having your touchdown celebration. Whenever Clay knew he was right, he's saying sources. We know who one of them is. Paul Finebaum.
Yep.
And Finebaum's not denying it on his show. He's on the next day. You got Bill Offheimer, who Clay's going to reference here, saying that's absolutely not true. Clay's at the 30-yard line at this point. He said he already knows he's going to score because he's playing against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
In this case, ESPN. Here's what DeMarcado should have been saying instead of being consoled by number 70 on the sideline and being coached up only for his coach to apologize to him in the team meeting the next day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Clay Travis here on the Gulf of America, updating you on today's goings-on before I head back to the pool. Red flag day, not ideal at the beach. This morning, as I'm getting ready to start my vacation day, I get tipped off that ESPN has pulled Paul Finebaum off all programming since my interview aired with him on Tuesday. They canceled a regular hit on First Take this morning. They canceled a Sunday early morning hit, which he's been doing for a decade plus on SportsCenter. I tweeted that out, figured I was going to go about my day. This moron named Bill Hoffmeyer, I guess he's just the professional bitch of ESPN, he came out and said this was a totally false comment. He's a liar. He's also a sad moron. And since then, ESPN has now got their stooges in sports media to come out and say, oh, no, nothing's happened. Paul Finebaum is scheduled to be on First Take Tuesday. But in fact, that's not true. Paul Finebaum hasn't even been invited on First Take yet. Again, I'm on vacation. Just try to get your story straight, ESPN. Bob Iger, you're such a moron. Just figure out what the actual story is. Humbly, I'm headed back to the Gulf of America. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I'll be back on the air Thursday, maybe a couple of shows between now and then, but mostly vacation time here on the lovely white sand beaches of the Gulf of America. See y'all. Love you, ESPN.